Just as a quick reminder for those of you that may not know, I started doing subscriber showcases for this channel. So if you want to feature your car, your truck, or any cool thing that you have on the channel, the video link of how to do that is below. Also with the email of how to send in pictures. So I look forward to seeing your rides. So I've owned my 04 Cobra for a year now. It's come with a few ups and downs, and it's been through a lot of changes in that 1 year. By the time everyone watches this video, I will have had the car longer than the 1 year mark. I actually took delivery of the Cobra on August 13th of 2020. I'll have this released at some point down the road, whenever you guys happen to be watching it. It almost seems surreal because even though it's been a year, it doesn't feel as though it's even been that long. It's just really weird. I think it's because the majority of the time that I've had the car, I haven't actually had it for the most part. Like I said, I took delivery of the car in August, and by November of last year, the first few months that I had it, I put it up for the winter. That was pretty much it for my, technical first few months with the car. So I sat from November until March when I took it out at the beginning of this year, in 2021. And I had it out from March to late May. Then I went to the shop, and it was at the shop from May to September, getting all the work done. So I've actually only had the car like a couple of months of actually being able to enjoy it. But that doesn't mean that I have a different opinion of the car, or that I wish things were a little bit different with it. Those of you that have an 03, 04 Terminator, or the ones that are looking to get one, it's quite an experience. And from my point of view, I think I've been lucky where I got to experience this car when it was fairly stock. Because the amount of time that I've had the car, it's gone through a lot of changes. Those of you that are regulars of the channel know everything that's been done to the car. But when it started out, I had an off-road X-pipe and a K&N intake with Flowmaster exhaust. And that was it. For like power engine mods, the car has a lot of suspension and coolant mods done to it, but that was it power-wise. So I got to experience the car pretty much as it came from Ford, give or take a little bit of horsepower. But as the car sits today, at the time of this recording, it's much, much different than it was the first summer that I had it. It's gone through a lot of changes. It has a 4 level 1 return fuel system now, has a VMP Gen 3R, makes 19.4 pounds of boost, where before I made about 12, 13 pounds with a pulley Eden on it when I had the pulley done and tuned and all that stuff. So now it's much different, much more powerful, and it's nice to see that comparison between the two. It's a pretty interesting dichotomy from where I first picked the car up to how it is now, which is quite a handful in a short amount of time if you're not real careful with it and know what you're doing for the most part. owned one much longer than the time frame that I've had this one, and that's great. I mean, I wish that I had bought one of these long before I did, but the amount of time that I've had with it has been really good. I don't regret buying this. It's so much fun. Whether you're just going around cruising or you want to mess around a little bit with it, no matter what you choose to do with it, it's just great. And like I said before, this car has gone through a lot of changes. I have a upcoming video, or maybe it's already released, about things that I plan on doing with this, things that it needs now that it's making a lot more power than it did before. So I'm not going to go into details about that because the video is either coming out or it's already come out. But even with that, there's still a lot to come with this car that I have in my head, things that I want to do with it. In the short term, this car has gone through a lot of changes, and that doesn't mean that's the end of it. I didn't do everything to this car within the first year. And when I talk about doing things to this car, like officially on the channel, that's when I have the intention of doing it within like that calendar year, within the next few months. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about that I do have plans on doing, but that's always down the road a little bit further than I want to talk about yet. There is a time for that, but just not at this time.
But not yet. Not yet.
It is unfortunate that the car has to go up for the wintertime, where I live in a state where I can't drive it year-round and be able to enjoy it all the time ever since I've owned it. I'm not saying I'm happy about it, but it's just how it is.
It vexes me. I'm terribly vexed.
But I would summarize in saying that my overall experience with having this car over the past year has been more or less positive. I haven't been let down by what I thought this car would be and what it ended up being. I actually did a video last summer on if this car would meet your expectations, what you should really expect when buying one of these cars. And I got lucky where I got one that it's not super low mileage, but it wasn't beat. It was well taken care of. It doesn't have any problems. I can go out, start the car, it runs. I don't have any problems while driving it, even though it's much more modded than it was then. Everything was done correctly, done right, so I don't really have any complaints at all. So in the comments below, let me know your overall experience with your Cobra, your Mustang, or your plans or expectations as far as trying to buy one or the other at some point. I personally know people that I've talked to that their experiences have been mixed, whether they really like the car or they don't. But a lot of that comes from other outside frustrations that led to it. So it will vary and differ for everyone for the most part. But for me, it's been great. I'm glad I got it. It's a really fun car, especially the way it is now with the power it puts out. So let me know what you think, everyone. And if you made it this far in the video, make sure to like it because it really does help the video. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more